Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. It is 9:59 in my neck of the woods in Franklin, Massachusetts on this Thursday. It's Thursday. Now, I don't even expect anybody to pop on, but if you are there, that would be lovely that you pop on and say hello, because this is not our normal day to get together. But I am going to be in Fry Island tonight. I'm leaving with my friend Steph and Jen and I. Jen has a home on Fry Island, and we're going there for a little mini vacation, but we're also doing a craft fair on Saturday on Fry Island, so it's going to be fun. So I'm all packed and ready to go. I'm very excited. And it is 10 o'clock. So good morning, Beth. Beth, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. I'm so happy that you're with me on this Thursday morning. Thank you very much for joining in. Okay, let us get started. As you saw in my newsletter, these are the cards that I presented. And of course, it's Christmas in July, week number 3. So this is the Christmas card that we're going to be doing. Simple, easy. I love it. And then we had to have a fun card, and this is a fun card. This is such a fun card. So this is the one I'm going to show you secondly. I'm going to show you this one first. So let's get started with this one. So let me get this out of the way and bring this in. Let me just show you again. This is using the oh gosh, I'm just drawing a terrible blank. Wait a minute, hold on. No, I'm not. Wait, hold on. I have my notes here. I have all my little notes here. This is the stitched stocking bundle and a stitch season DSP that we're using. This the stitched stocking DSP mostly has quilted designs and patterns, but on the flip side they have muted colors, kind of like Monet colors. But on the flip side, this one is all snowflakes, which I absolutely love. And I told you in my newsletter that snowflakes are kind of a nostalgic thing for me, because I remember my sister and I used to watch the snowflakes falling in the wintertime. We'd go outside and watch against the dark sky and the sun, the snowflakes falling, and then we pulled out our arms so we could watch the snowflakes land on our arms, and you could see all the different patterns. And the thing that I was completely amazed about, and still to this day, is that every single snowflake is different. Gorgeous, 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 symmetrical, but gorgeous and different, unique. Anyway, so this is the card that we're going to start with. This is Christmas in July, week number 3. All right, so what we need first is, of course, we need the base, which is the white 8.5 by 5 scored and scored in the half, scored in the middle, and then of course we have to make this a nice crisp fold. So allow me to do that with my bone folder like this. And then just to save time, I did go ahead and get the inside already embossed. And I wanted to use the silver embossing powder because silver is one of the complementary colors. Let's see, can you see that? How pretty that is? The silver embossing powder. And then I used this ribbon, this white satin ribbon, which has a silver trim. I'm going to use a different one for this card because I ran out of this ribbon, but I'm going to show you. It's very, very similar. So on the inside, I stamped, "May all your days be bright," embossed it in silver embossing powder. And then I took the stamp that has all of the beautiful little snowflakes and I stamped it right there. So that's the inside. Now the outside has a piece of Secret Sea cardstock, which is 5 1/4 by 4, and then the pattern paper, which is 5 by 3 3/4. Let me show you the other side. So this is the quilted side. This is the larger quilted side on this designer paper, which is absolutely stunning. And I'll show you some more of those things as the weeks pass on. But anyway, let's get some adhesive on this. Whoops, it would help if I if I had the applicator tip available. So there is this. Okay. And here is this right attached to the Secret Sea, which is a lovely color. You've heard the story many times about the Mariana Trench and my grandson. So there is that. And now what I'm going to next do is I'm going to take this ribbon. Now this is this very similar ribbon. This is an off-white version of this ribbon. Let me just show you this one here. You can see the difference. Actually, there's not much of a difference. This is off-white and this is satiny white. But this has the silver edge on it too. So I'm going to put this on the middle of the card, but I'm going to first apply some adhesive on the back of it so that I can anchor it well. And I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to, that looks good to me, right about there. Actually, it's a little bit lower. Let's bring this in just a little bit higher up here because I want it to be even. Beth, it's you and me. You and me. Because nobody else has popped on to say hi. And I do apologize because as I watch my feed, it takes a few extra seconds, sometimes maybe a little bit longer, because my nephew, Paul, in Douglas, Massachusetts, is on every week with me, but he posts his comments, but I never see it until my live is over. So I apologize if I don't get to say hello to everybody. It's just because that's the way the feed goes. You know, it's technology. There's probably some way that I could fix that. I don't know. Maybe there isn't. Who knows? Anyway, now I'm going to apply this to the base of my card. I'm going to make sure that I've got plenty of adhesive on that to anchor it down nicely. And I'm going to bring my card back in. Card base right here. And I'm going to put it on like this. Talk about fast and easy. And a really pretty card like that. Okay. And pat that down. It shows 3 of us watching. Now, isn't that interesting? I can only see you, Beth. I don't know who else is watching me. That's really crazy. Ugh, that saddens me. Ugh. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, let's see if their names pop up. That's really, I'm sorry. So hello to all of the other people out there who are on here. I've taken another piece of the ribbon and just going to make a little knot, a nice little knot like that. And this ribbon, because this has this is probably mostly cotton, it has a very nice ability to stay nice and tight without loosening up. So you don't have to double knot it. At least that's my experience. I don't have to double knot it. Okay, there's that. Then the next thing I did was I took one of the dies from the Stitch Stocking set. Here it is right here. And here is this die that I used right here. I cut this out. And then I stamped Sending Warm Wishes This Christmas. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on this. I've got some strips here that need to be used up because you know how I am about these things. I love to use the edges. This really bothers me. I don't get why I don't see everybody who's on here. Beth, can you tell me their names, at least just their first names? If you can you just write in their names for me? And then I can say at least hello through my friend Beth through Canada. So we're going from the United States to Canada, from Canada back to the United States. Crazy, huh? All right, anyway, lots of dimensionals on that. I also punched a little hole on each edge, and I used one of my tiny little silver brads, and I anchored those down with a dimensional because I don't want them to wiggle. I also cut off some of the edges of the brads because they were very, very long. Anyway, so this is going to go on like this. And I'm going to, well, let me bring it up so you can see, of course. I'm going to make sure that this point and this point is midway between the ribbon because that's probably the best way. Let's see how this is going to look. I have to lift it up so I can see this. This looks good to me, like this. There we go. Perfect. There you go. Isn't that sweet? I just love it. So here is the original. And you know what else? Oh, wait, I just thought. How about some Wink of Stella? Let's just add some Wink of Stella to some of these snowflakes to add a little bit more pizzazz. And you know what else we can do? We can add some, now I know I'm coming in. You've probably seen me do this, which I normally don't do, but I know that this Wink of Stella is almost finished. And I don't know if it's coming out or not. Yes, it is a little bit. Let me see if I can, now only me. It shows a person and the number beside the person. Huh. Well, maybe they'll send me an email and tell me what's going on because that drives me crazy when these things happen. Technology, you know. I'm sure somebody could explain it. Maybe it has something to do with being on YouTube. Who knows? Who knows? But thanks for trying, Beth. I really appreciate it. Okay. All right. Please say hi to your mom, wherever she is. I'm sure that a lot of people, because it was Thursday, weren't able to join me today. I understand that. All right. So there's that. And you know what? I'm going to just do a little bit more. And you probably can't really see this, but it is applying nicely. And what I think I'm going to do now is, why not? I'm just going to take a little bit of some iridescent ice, and I'm just going to sprinkle. As I say so many times, you hear me say it all the time, I have no idea. There's some kind of static component to this so that it stays even though it doesn't have any adhesive behind it, which is totally fine with me. Okay, so there it is. So there is card number 3 in July, Christmas in July, and that's what we're going to be doing next week, one of them. Okay, now let me just clean up this little mess, get this out of the way, and let's bring it. Oh, and by the way, here's the envelope. With the envelope, I embossed the snowflakes on the lower right-hand side as well. So that really looks very pretty, I think. It's just a really pretty, simple card. Okay, now let's get to the fun card of the week, which is this one. Now, I happen to be a jam, jelly, preserve, conserve lover, especially if people make them themselves. I mean, when we were kids, my grandmother used to make peach jam. Oh, it was so delicious. Marmalade, orange. She used to make orange marmalade from scratch. Oh my God, delicious. So when I saw this, sweet, I said, I absolutely have to have it. It's called Filled with Sweetness. I love it. I love the jar. I love the messages. I love the fruits. And the dyes are phenomenal. Lots of really pretty, useful dyes. I like that one. Nice card. Thanks, Beth. Thank you so much. So many different options here. So I saw someone, and I don't know who this person is, in passing. It was a very quick, I think it was a reel, and I saw this very similar template, and I said, I'm going to copy it. So I did, to some degree. So anyway, let me get this out of the way, and let me bring this in. So I start with a layer of strawberry slush as my base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored. And then we're going to crisp this up with a nice bone fold right here, like this. The Christmas one. Thank you, Beth. Okay. I'm glad you like that one. I hope you like this one too. But that's why we have options, because not everybody likes the same thing. So I like to be able to have options. And right here, I don't know if you can see, but this is one of those persnickety things. It's not, I don't have many persnickety issues with what we do, but if my paper isn't even, it drives me crazy. So I had to just trim that little piece out. It is trimmed out, it is fine. So the next thing I'm going to do is take a piece of cardstock, which is 5.25 by 4. And to that, I'm going to add 2 panels from this DSP, this absolutely beautiful DSP. So these panels are 5 by 3 3/4 and then cut to 1 7/8 of an inch wide each. So they're going to fit on nicely like that. So let me get my silicone pad back, and I'm going to put some adhesive on this one. Yeah, and I also remember the smells of these jams and jellies being preserved in my kitchen in my home in Whitensville. Oh my gosh. I remember the smell of marmalade being made and peach jam being made. Oh, it was just so nice. And those were the days when my grandmother canned it all. So we had mason jars and the big, I think it was like a 5-gallon mason kettle that you had to put everything in with the covers open just a little tiny bit so that you could allow the water pressure to be out. I don't know exactly what it was, but in order to make sure that it was sterilized, I guess, so that you could can it and keep them for months and months and months. Although I have to tell you, in our house, some of those didn't last very long because they were so delicious. Oh my gosh. And my grandmother used to make homemade bread all the time from scratch. So we would have her homemade bread, and we would have homemade jam or jelly or preserves or marmalades or whatever. And there was nothing better, truly nothing better. Okay, so now, that was just a little bit of history. So now I've got the 2 panels on. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take some of this Misty Moonlight ribbon, which is a checkered pattern. I absolutely think it's adorable. And I'm going to put it down the center of this. But before I do that, I'm going to add just a little tiny bit of adhesive on the center of the ribbon itself. I didn't do it on my design, my sample, and I wish I had, because this ribbon wiggles a little bit. So I don't know. Anyway, I decided just to put a little smidge right there. And I'm going to put some adhesive here, the top and the bottom. And let's get this in. And I'm going to close up. You can see there's a little bit of a space because I wanted to make it equidistant, east and west and north and south on all four corners. So there is a little slight difference there, which is fine. And I'm going to bring this up and I'm going to tag that right down. And then I'm going to bring this one down like this. I'm happy with this placement. And then I'm going to tag that. And then I'm just going to rub on the center to make sure. I wish they sold the little trimmer. I know. I know. I keep putting that in the suggestion box because so many people say the same thing. They would really like that little trimmer available. And maybe they'll bring it back. I don't know, because people love it. I love it. I'd get another one. Okay. And I wish I could make jams, but I don't know how to. Oh, but you know what? That's where Google can come in, Beth. You know what? The other thing, I don't know what you there where you're living, but if you have a senior center, which I think you do, you could probably go and find a senior who knows how to do that and would be willing to teach you. Because making jams and jellies and marmalades and preserves is such, it takes a while, but it is such a wonderful thing to do. All right, so here is my panel that I'm going to put on the top like that. I'm loving how this is looking. There we go. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I took a piece of of white cardstock and I used this, where is it? What did I cut this? Oh, here it is right here. I used this die to cut out this. And so what I am going to do is I'm going to put my messages on here. So the first message I'm going to use in Strawberry Slush to match the cardstock is, let's see, this one is going to say, you're the sweetest. All right, so let me ink this up. Let me get my PS pad because this is a photopolymer stamp. And I definitely need to use that. I believe in using the Pierce pads with my photopolymers. All right, I'm going to stamp this right here like that. Lovely, perfect. And then the next thing I'm going to do, since I've got my ink opened, is I'm going to take my inside piece, which is 5 1/4 by 4, and I'm going to stamp this cute little flourish right at the bottom. I'm going to bring this up so you can see this. I'm going to stamp it right here at the bottom like this. It's just a little delicate flourish. You know what? I'm going to have to bring it down just so I can get it where I want it. There we go. Perfect, like that. How cute is that? And then I've got this stinking cute little hat. And I'm just going to stamp one there. And I'm going to stamp one here. Like that. How sweet is that? Isn't that sweet? Oh, and you know what? I'm going to also do it on the outside of the envelope. I'm going to just stamp a little heart right here and a little heart right here. And then I'm going to take the flourish back and stamp the flourish once again. Why not? Because we can do these things. Let me see if I get it the right way. All right, let me see if I can get this even. Perfect. Look at that. Gosh, son of a gun. Okay. Oh, and the inside, I'm going to stamp homemade for you because this is a homemade card. And even though it's not going to get a jar of jelly, although maybe I would do that. Maybe I would get a jar of jelly. I know where I can get jellies that are handmade. And I could give this to somebody who's done something nice for me. Because gosh knows, lots of people do very nice things for me. All right. So then the next thing is to take my little banner and add some dimensionals to it. And we're going to do my edges here. I'm going to do another one right here. You know what, Beth? If I can find somebody who's willing to relinquish their little trimmer, I would send it to you. I'll put a little note out on my stamping group and see if anybody's got an extra one. They're hard to come by. I will tell you that. They're very hard to come by because it's such a great, useful tool. All right, let me bring my card back in, my card base. I've got my little banner here. Let's take this little paper off. How cute is this going to be? I love the colors. It's just so summery. It's just such a great little happy card to give to somebody. All right, so I'm going to put this on like this. This looks good to me right here. Perfect. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do is take a piece of the same ribbon, and I'm going to make a little knot, just a knot like this. Oh, I love the way that came out. And then I'm going to take my pick tool. I'm going to take some glue dots, and I'm going to add like more than 3. Because you know how I feel. I want this thing to stick. I don't want it to ever come off. So this is fun. It is a fun card. It absolutely is a fun card. Thank you, Beth. It is fun, and I hope my peeps who come next week think so as well. And then let's put this one here. I'm adding a lot because, like I said, I want to make sure this sticks. And this ribbon is a little bit heavy, not heavy, but it's got enough weight to it that you definitely want to make sure that this knot stays where it needs to be. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to plant it right there, and I'm going to make sure each end gets stuck right down really, really well. Then I'm going to just take my scissors and trim this off a little bit. How cute is that? But wait, we're not done yet. So then the piece de resistance here is to take these little gems. They're called strawberries and dots. I think that we don't have them anymore. I don't know, but I have a stash. Of course I have a stash. I know. It's, you know what? Hey, it could be a lot worse. And I'm going to take 2 strawberries. I'm going to put 1 strawberry, let's see. I'm going to put 1 strawberry like this. And then I'm going to put this strawberry. Look at how cute these are. And I'm going to put that one there. And then I'm going to take this little blue dot, which I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I think it's stinking cute. And it's in Misty Moonlight, so it matches the ribbon. How cute is that? So there is that part to it. Now the last thing, not almost the last thing, I've got this to do. I've got to do the inside. So let me get my little silicone pad here once again and add some adhesive to this. I have so many lists all over the place. You know, when you go away, I mean, when I go away, I have to make lists. And then I eventually make lists of lists because I have so many things that I have to do. All right, so here is this. And this is going to come in here. How cute is this? Adorable. And of course, I think what I have to do is I have to give some luster to these hearts. So I'm going to bring back my Wink of Stella and give this, oh yeah, perfect. And this one, like this. Oh, you can't even see it, for goodness sakes. There we go. I'm sorry about that. So these guys, and then I think I'm just going to take my pen and there we go. I'm just going to cover this little flourish with a little bit of Winky. How cute is that? All right, that's done. Now the envelope. Let me bring the envelope in. Oh, you know what? Let's add some Winky to the envelope too, right here. Sometimes I wonder if when it goes through the machines, if the Winky falls off, but I don't think it does actually. I think the Winky stays on. There we go. Perfect. How cute is that? Wink of Stella and our shimmery pens just add so much. I love it. Now, the next thing is to take a piece of the corresponding designer paper with all the fruits on it. There's the flip side. I told you, remember, each piece has a different side. And so that's a lovely muted, you can see there's a little bit of a floral image there. But this is the side I'm going to use because this is all about fruits. So again, let me get this envelope flap covered in adhesive. And then we're going to put this cute little envelope flap with the fruits in the right direction. There is a north and a south to this. Sometimes on DSP there isn't, but this one definitely has a side, an up and a down. But it really wouldn't matter, you know, if you put it on upside down, because the pattern pretty much is cattywampus. But as I'll show you in a second here. For my eye, I had to have it the right way. Well, in my head, the right way. There really is no right way. But see, there we go. So there's the fruit in the right direction. So here is the card. How cute is this? I absolutely love it. It's a fun card. It was a fun card to make. Look at those little strawberries. Look at the little bow and the ribbon and everything. How cute is that? The DSP, the envelope flap, the front of the envelope. There we go. And with a cute little stamp on it. Adorable. So those are the cards that we're going to be doing next week. And I hope that you like them, and let me know if you're coming, and let me know how many you're going to need of each one, please. That's very important, so I can get as many setups done in advance as possible. And the other thing I wanted to tell everybody about too is my Silly Old Bear class. Yay, finally. August 1st, 9 o'clock at my house here in Franklin. We're going to be making 6 beautiful cards. I've got some of them already designed. They're so, so pretty. Plus that designer paper is spectacular. The Silly Old Bear designer paper is just absolutely gorgeous. So in the class, you're going to be making 6 cards. You're going to get a full package of the DSP. You're going to get your own Wink of Stella, and you're going to get the 28 in color gems, which you will need for these cards. You'll have plenty of paper left over, so you can make lots of other cards if you have the card stock, or if you can you can buy it from me if you need it. But that's what we're going to be doing. So the class fee for that is $35. I need to know by August 25th if you're coming. So please get those RSVPs into me as ASAP, and I'll take care of that for you. So that is it for now, my friends. I hope, oh, thank you, Beth. Thank you so much for joining me. That was very sweet of you. And for the other people who are joining with me, even though I don't know you are, I'm scrolling up and I can't see anyone else's name except Beth. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry for the technology and my lack of ability to correct that situation. But anyway, thank you for joining in. Have a great weekend. I will be taking pictures, probably videos from Fry Island, to let you see what we're doing. And I hope you have a great weekend. I